But can you believe during those 5 hours, I had
0 patients.
I mean, I am a very patient person, but what I mean is that I did not draw anyone, like no patients at all. I had zero. Oh my God. Hello, you guys. Okay, you guys, on this video, I'm going to compare working as an outpatient lab. Okay, this includes clinics versus working at a hospital. Anywhere you could have hard draws, clinic or hospital. But I feel like when it comes to the clinic, it's a little bit easier just for the fact that the patients do not have any IVs. When a patient is very hard to draw, I feel like it's more challenging to find a good vein at a hospital settings, because sometimes patients have 1 IV or sometimes 2 IVs, sometimes 3 IVs, and that's when it becomes a little bit more tricky.
But of course you get more skills as well.
Outpatient or clinic, normally you get automatic consent from the patient. Yes, let me explain. So basically they go like this. And normally outpatient people are more impatient. Outpatients are more impatient because if you take too long, they're like, what's going on? You know, like, when are you gonna help me? But of course we have those wonderful, beautiful patients. We'll have those patients that they don't care that you're taking too long. They're like, I understand. Just those beautiful patients. You have both. Outpatient, there's a lot of ordering. Okay, so they come in with the paper, you have to submit the tests. Sometimes it's tricky, okay? Some of them are hard, but over time you will get familiar with them. Okay, when it comes to the hospital, it's a little bit harder because you have to actually gain consent from the patient. Yes, let me explain. For example, you have to wake them up. You know, at 4 a.m. you're doing your morning rounds, or every 2 hours or every 4 hours or every 6 hours you have to go back to the same room and then explain, hey, you're due for your potassium.
Okay, so then you have to gain consent.
And sometimes it's very hard, but with kindness you will convince them. And normally what I tell them is that it's good to get your blood work done, because unfortunately the doctor or the nurse cannot just look at you and say, oh, it looks like, just by looking at them, like, oh, you're better, you get to go home. No, they need to test your blood and see, compare levels. That's the whole purpose of the blood work, to see if you're getting better or worse, to treat you so you can become better and go home. So yeah, absolutely. When it comes to hospital though,
It is a little bit more work just because
you have to respond to codes. Eventually, if you work at a hospital, you will work at the ER. Yes, you will. And it is kind of scary when you respond to a ER code, you know, but over time you'll get used to it. My tip to you is to respond as soon as possible, so that means go directly to where you're supposed to go. But before anything, stay calm. You got this, okay? And I prepare everything. I get my syringe ready, my needle ready, my tourniquet, my tape ready, my rainbow, most likely when there's a code, my rainbow, my typing screen ready. Sometimes blood cultures, I have everything ready there before the patient even gets there.
you guys, so when it comes to responding to codes in the ER, just have everything ready, because you never know if you do have to draw. But most of the time there is a nurse ready to start an IV, and if you're at the right place at the right time, they might just tell you, hey, do you have a syringe? And you just hand them the syringe, grab the blood, you transfer the blood, you label for them, you identify the patient in front of them, you can label for them, okay? Only if you're in the same room, you identifying the patient, everything. If you're witnessing, you could label, okay? You can always put your initials / whoever the nurse is.
Work at a hospital, you become more fast-paced because you have to respond quick.
Certain hospitals, they are like super high census.
Patient labs, you guys, what I've noticed is that it's rush hours, but so unpredictable. Like you could be it could be very slow, and then it could be very busy. That's the same with the hospital. Sometimes the hospital is very, 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 very crazy busy, but there are magical 5 minutes
Or 5 hours
of silence. You know, it just depends. But I absolutely love both of them, you guys. Let me just say that a lot of people over time, they do like the clinic setting because it's a little bit more chill. And when it comes to hospitals, they obviously have the outpatient area, so the OGs love to chill, of course, and then they let the new people respond to codes, to do all those blood cultures in the ER, you know, to do the crazy things. Yeah, the babies. Go here, go there, you go here and you go there until you learn, you know, and eventually you will become an OG, and then you get to, you know, choose a good paying job where it's not as crazy, but you're still a phlebotomist. Like, oh my God, you guys, I'm not lying. Yesterday I worked, okay? I only worked 5 hours, but can you believe during those 5 hours, I had 0 patients. I mean, I am a very patient person, but what I mean is that I did not draw anyone, like no patients at all. I had 0. Oh my God.
But there are magical 5 minutes or 5 hours of silence.